I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Can't be a real, I ain't get you canceled. The whole system need to dismantle. Coppers treated like the utmost wanted. Trying to rule the block, but don't know what goes on. News got a story with a new take on me. Carrying out the window with the screw face on me. But I know that God love me when my burn. 95 degrees and I can't get sunburn. Wonder when your government don't make me legal. Burn the whole city if I can't be equal. Get off my please, Brad, I earn that. 400 years, how you still ain't learned? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Shout out to the trying to gentrify the genre. Tell them free my middle finger to your honor. In the days coming down the seconds on the timer. Goofy still trying to purchase that designer. About to buy it, learn to grow my own food. Cause I don't like the look they give me in the Whole Foods. And when you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. But it ain't on me now, I'm living cause my heavy. But ain't sweet, think we thin. My whole attitude on MC Ren. It's my neighborhood now, Bob, I bought that. 400 years, how you still ain't caught that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out.
Of course, we're allowing everybody to have a little time to file on in, being the fact that this is Monday. But I've been playing a few songs to get a few more things done and to get this noisy computer from behind me. So I'm going to hit another song or two, and then we're going to go right on into it. Is that okay with you, Empress Ella G?
It most certainly is, sir. Thank you. Grand Rising all.
Okay. Yes, here we go.
My Lord is I lost my love. To the groove, I my Lord is I lost my love. They gonna move to the groove. I my Lord is I lost my love. My Lord is I lost my love. They gonna move to the groove. I my Lord is I lost my love. They gonna move to the groove. I my Lord is I lost my love.
Okay, I guess we're about ready. And at some point, Empress Ella G, I got to get this computer out of the way because I was working on some stuff and it started making that crazy noise again. So here we are. It's a noisy compuder.
I don't hear it right now, which is good.
You don't hear it right now?
I don't hear it.
Okay, that's good.
That's awesome.
Well, you know, this subject is a subject and topic that is never ending.
Never ending.
Anna, toxic family members. Is it wrong to cut them off for life? Doesn't mean it's appropriate, but we're going to deal with all of our sentences like a sentence given to a criminal, right? Depending on the violation and how severe it is for life or a little bit distance and just friendly. I see you with a function. Yes, this is my brother or sister, but you know, we put the front up, but we really don't deal with each other. And
love
usually
them from a distance.
Exactly. And there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be pissed at this topic because they are going to realize that, hey, I'm not the one doing the cutting off. I've been cut off. And it reminds them. So we're going to get, you know,
Garfield, the cat. And whenever you talk about, being fat, but you say it indirectly, and he's smart enough, he says, hey, I resemble that remark. So a lot of people, a lot of people are going to resemble this topic right here, you know,
Mm-mm.
and they're going to say, "Hey, wait a minute," you know.
And again, we're going to do it the original way. The
Yeah,
first hour of the show, we're going to talk right here on YouTube
yes.
and on LanceScurv.com. We're already over there. But after this hour on YouTube, and I'm going to say it again, we're going to move everything over to LanceScurv.com. You know, and we're going to talk about it. But then we'll get really, like, just really nasty when it's off of YouTube and on LanceScurv.com. So we don't mean nasty. We just mean we're going to go in. And I'm
I
going to tell
know.
some stories. Yes, things
We're
I've
gonna we're
observed.
gonna behave
You
while
know,
we're here. Wait a minute. Is there a person in the chat by the name of Sister Big Draws? Because I just saw a comment.
wait,
Don't
are you
know what.
serious?
I'm
Big
looking.
draws.
Sister Big Draws. I don't know who that's supposed to be.
I ain't see that. Maybe let me see. Was it earlier on or was it just like recent?
No, Romy Rome wrote that. It says, "At Sister Big Draws, keep pushing, baby. I'm behind you." So I'm looking for whoever Sister Big Draws is.
I don't see it, so I have
I
to
don't
go
see it.
directly.
So
Yeah, go directly in on the actual showing on YouTube. I'm working with one computer right
okay,
now.
all right.
It's
Well, we'll
rendering
see.
something. No, so no, usually what they do to get in,
Mhm.
they'll block you, but they don't know I'm using a program outside of YouTube that the block don't work. But I don't see it there. So let me look at it both ways. Because a lot of
It's all
strange
right.
things are
It's
going
okay.
on in the
Maybe
chat.
he's just being funny with somebody, you know. But that was,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
I went looking, you know. I was just like, I need to see who this is. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah. I just want to say
so
that there's some strange things going on in the channel.
yeah.
When I look at the comments on my phone as opposed to on the computer,
Mhm.
certain comments don't show up. The
Mhm.
shadow banning and the infected phones, like my phone is infected and it's going crazy. They've increased whoever they are, their little games that they play with me. You know what I mean? So roll with me on that. If I happen to get knocked off, I'll be back on. And
Right.
today I'm going
Right.
to, I've been doing so much, I'm scruffy, I'm hiding my face. So we're going to get down to the topic. That's the main thing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what do you
Yes.
think
Yes.
about that? Just talk to me because I got a whole lot of things to say, shooting from the hip and straight from the heart about this topic.
Right. Right. Well, you know, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I've
Now, while
had.
you talk, I'm going to move this thing away from, I'm going to mute myself for just like 90
Okay.
seconds and
All
put
right.
this
No
computer,
problem.
this laptop in the other room so we don't hear this buzzing noise.
Right.
Okay. But
No
I'm hearing you
problem.
on.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I've, you know, in my sphere of existence, I can't say that I've gotten, I have a lot of quote unquote toxic family members, toxic to the level where I would say cut them off for life. However, this pandemic and the ones that did and the ones that didn't, I can see where that is creating a level of toxicity where going forward, you know, there may be a cutoff for life, you know, or love from a distance. You know, you can love them, but you don't have to be around them. And that has always been how I lived until recently. And now that I'm back around more family, I'm just not into it. You know, my life has always been, you know, hey, by the way, how's Ella? Has anyone heard from her? You know, does anybody know how she's doing? And that worked for me, you know, because I didn't have to be around the bullshit. I didn't have to be around the ones that, you know, they smile in your face, but they don't really mean it, because I'm not that kind of person. You know, if you don't hear from me, it's because I don't want to be heard from. But if I'm around you and, you know, we're cool, I don't have time to hate or envy or speak bad or any of those things, you know. And that's just me. But uh, I do know that I have family members who have their opinions, and, you know, from time to time they voice it. And I don't need to be around your foolishness, you know, because we change on a daily basis. Every day that you wake up, you're given an opportunity to change yourself, to make better today what, you know, than what you were yesterday. And nobody has the right to keep bringing up your past, and nobody has the right to, you know, just keep talking at you. And that's where a lot of this toxic crap comes from, because of how people were raised in conjunction with personality.
Yep.
Because sometimes you can have someone who has a very strong personality, which is fine, you know, but they don't have any temperance. They were never guided in how to express themselves. And so whatever comes to mind to mouth comes out, and they don't care who is offended. That's not always good. You know, if it's warranted, you say whatever you have to say. Whoever is offended is offended. But a lot of the toxic crap that people deal with is just from people who have no filter. And I don't care what anybody says, you have to have filter. You have to be able to filter your thoughts, filter your mind. You know, it sounds nice when people can say, I don't give a shit what nobody says. I'm going to say whatever I say. No, no, no. It's not always good. You know, it seems cool, but it's not always good. So in my, humble estimation, based upon where I've been in my life, if you have toxic people around you that you truly, truly, truly can't deal with, don't deal with them. This is 2022. I've gotten away from oh, it's your brother, oh, it's your sister, oh, it's your cousin. You know, I'm really stepping away from that. I don't have a big family where that is concerned. It's just three of us. And hey, I have no problem calling you on the phone and saying, hey, how you doing? I don't have to be right there with you. I do not have to be on. I am at the moment, but I don't have to be right there with you at all. You know? Yeah. I can't reach the phone to turn it off. So you're going to hear my office phone ringing in the background.
I guess you're reclined.
I am.
Unless you have detachable legs and can't get up, you just admitted that you're laying down.
I'm not quite laying
Now,
down, but I'm in a
I'm gonna explain-
comfortable position and to
well,
stretch,
just how your voice sounds, I'm going to
Mm.
discern exactly how and what that position is and tell it to you after the show.
Oh, okay.
I'm betting 100, even though it was one guesstimate that I gave you that one time. I told you where the team was falling, where it was, the location.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Down to memory gland. Yes, I did. Anyway.
Can anybody
but,
tell what position I'm in? Take a wild guess. Anybody want to guess?
We're not doing a headstand right now. So we know that one.
You know what? I might be giving away too much. If you hear me start breathing a certain way, you might know. Let me hear myself.
There was a young lady, before I give my opinion on this, there's a young lady that on YouTube years ago, I forgot what her channel was, but she was doing a live stream and somehow she wasn't showing her face. She had like a banner up. And you'll hear noise on my side too, because they're building that apartment building next door. But
okay.
She somehow hit the camera on or removed the banner so you can see her. So now here she is, talking. She's sitting down in front of the computer screen. And, okay, we're busy people.
Mm-hmm.
We don't walk around with a super clean place and everything's arranged. Sometimes it's like, I'm not doing this for the rest of the week. I'll do it Saturday after a good rest. Okay, I can roll with you on that. We're overwhelmed with things sometimes. But I think she was like unemployed and home all day and she lived with her family and everything like that. So there's no excuse. You do a live stream, you're not showing yourself. At least let it be in a position where we don't see underwear. We don't see like diapers rolled up that you didn't throw away and all manner of that. But she said, okay, everybody, I'm going to take a quick break. She played some music and got up. She didn't realize she was being seen. Guess what? She was in panties and a tight little T-shirt or a wife beater or whatever.
She knew she was being seen. Come now.
Nah, she didn't realize. She really didn't realize it because when she got up, you know how like one side of the panty goes higher up in the crack and one is lower. She stood there and arched her back and grabbed one under and pulled it out, left the room and came back.
I'm not even going to say anything because
right up in her nose. She didn't know.
Listen,
she's not
it's too early, right? Because you was looking at her.
No. I saw her, and the video was sent to me.
Oh gosh!
It wasn't anything
I
pornographic.
was gonna say something, but I'm
Wanna
not
laugh?
gonna. Didn't you say that's one of your favorite looks?
Oh yes, most definitely. When a woman has panties on,
Mhm.
down to the day when I'm younger and whatnot. I mean, and one rides up a little more. It's just sexy to me.
I
I'm not gonna
know.
run from that. You ain't gonna box me in this little corner. Don't even make me go there. Let's keep the show on the family, the toxic people. We'll have enough of that for the weekend. Trust me.
Ooh.
Well,
Anyways, give us your
yeah.
opinion on this.
Well, I always like to say that our personal opinions or our specific opinions
Yeah.
are our personal facts.
Right.
We just say that it's an opinion because just to be polite to the next person, just to
Right.
say, hey, this is my opinion. But deep down, it's like I done been through stuff. This is what I know. These are my
Right.
facts.
Right.
All right. So that being said, I won't be rude and say it's a fact, but it is okay. To me, it
Mhm.
is okay. We're not talking about overshooting and overdoing it. That if you have a disagreement with a family member, that you just cut them off. That's not the answer. I'm all
Right.
about healing. But
Right.
you have some people who have violated beyond measure, and they have done it before. Maybe not as severe in the past,
Mhm.
but they get warm-up runs,
Mhm.
and they should have learned from that.
Mhm.
And now they do things that are like over and above, like
Mhm.
everybody gets it and whatever. And it's like, listen, I can't hang around hoping that we heal and you stop these rhythms because you're not stupid.
Right.
You know exactly what you're doing. And when it ends up being something that was premeditated and you saw the red flags and you
Mhm.
know that
Mhm.
this is coming and it just happens, no,
Nope.
nada, gone. Look, the way I see it is that you're raised up with your nuclear family, right? And it could be
Mhm.
extended cousins and as you get to be adults, in-laws, you know what I mean? But you have that fact that you're DNA sharers. You share your DNA. But that doesn't mean that you share the same spirit, that you have the same moral standards. It doesn't mean that you have the same metal in your heart to treat the next
Mhm.
person.
Mhm.
It's families are like buses. Is downtown and they're at the bus depot. All of the buses are sitting there. All of the buses usually ride a couple of blocks on the same route until they split up to go to their individual routes,
True.
right?
True.
And then they go on and they're unrelated. Like one bus is way across town, the other one's on the other side. And so this is how it is. This is how families are. You share childhood memories. There are things that you go through and you laugh and you become teenagers and you laugh and you still have little differences. Don't wear my shirt, or you took my stuff, whatever, or mommy loved you more than me. And those kind of things. But as we go into adulthood, you're very blessed. The bigger the family, the more
Mhm.
severe it could be. You're very
Mhm.
blessed to attach yourself on to several that have a similar respect for each other. You'll have
Exactly.
some,
Right.
you'll always have that one that's off the chain that you really can't even, you're like, okay, whatever, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but it really is something of a sin when you violate a family member that much where they have to cut you off. But yes, sometimes you do, oftentimes you do. Sometimes they will appeal to our greater uh sensibilities and bring us back in and then use us again or stomp us again. But once you violate like that and you know what
Mhm.
you're doing, you're not mentally disturbed, developmentally delayed, then something's wrong. You cut them off
All the
forever.
way off. All the way
Yes,
off.
it's this because they have become now just a sharer of DNA. You
Yeah.
might see them at the funeral, and even then of your parents or somebody in your family, but no, they're cut off for life
Yeah.
without
And they
anger, without
and sometimes
intelligence.
those same ones could be um to your, and I don't want to use they're not good for you. Let me just put it that way. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to use certain words. But when you have family members like that, it's clear that there is no love, there is no like, because in this life you can love somebody and not like them. Just like we have in families, you love your family member, like you said, because you're DNA sharers, you grew up together, so on and so forth. It's not like you want to see, for the most part, for the most part, you usually don't want to see ill or harm come to that individual, but you just don't like them. You don't like anything about them. You don't like their behavior, you don't like their ways, you don't like the way they do things, so on and so forth. That is there. But when you have family members who really and truly, whether it's because of who you find yourself with as a life partner, and I'm speaking sort of from experience, so it's not like I'm just, coming off of what you are saying, you know, people form their form their facts, their personal facts, and they're gonna do things to not really benefit the other person. You see what I'm saying? So if it's a brother or a sister and they don't like certain things, that you've done, they're going to do things to create either a rift between family members, or they're going to try to do things to block what's happening in your relationship. And those are the people that you say, I don't want you anywhere around me. I don't want you knowing what I'm doing. I don't want you knowing where I'm at. I don't want anything about you. I'm not going to think ill of you that anything happens to you, but you stay over there, I'll stay over here. Yeah.
Exactly. And that extends on this whole thing about toxic family members. This can extend to friends and whatever. The nucleus, it's a nuclear family. And
Mhm.
you're right about that. You don't have to want something bad to happen to them. And depending on what they did, you can still come to their aid from a distance. Like, okay,
Mhm.
listen, no bad feelings. We don't really see eye to eye on things, but because of this, and that's your choice. You don't have to, because you see, there are people out there that say, like you said earlier, oh, it's your sister, but oh, it's your brother. But let me tell you something. Sometimes you can have sisters or brothers, and this includes in-laws also, that wish nothing but murder. They wish nothing
Yeah.
but death on you. Anything you
Yeah.
do, they want to destroy. Even if you knew it long before and it came out and it got around, you knew this. They have nothing good for you. They don't want to. Every time you elevate, it irks them, pisses them off. We don't know the origins of this. This is just how people can be. And we don't understand that family members they adhere to the same rules as people, because they are
Mhm.
people. Just have a shared origin. You have a
Yeah.
common parent or the same parents, but we romanticize this.
Yes. I'm guilty
There are
of that.
happy families out there.
I'm
And
guilty of that.
no, but it's no problem. We all are to a certain point, until we realize, once we catch it. Now, for me, it's not like I had 10 brothers and sisters. I
Mhm.
have one brother, right? Now, I discovered that there are others out there. Like, I mean, I always knew, like my father from when he was real young, he had two daughters back in
Yeah,
Jamaica.
wow.
I never got to know them. There's a huge age difference. If I'm going to be 59 in April, they must be like 90,
Oh my
near
God.
100. This is how different, but I did have a chance to see one of them. And here it is. When my father came back and his health was declining,
Mhm.
this was possibly back like in 80, 86, 87. He passed away, and he transitioned in November of 1990, right? But one of my sisters from Jamaica, who she was up in age, way up in age, right? Um, she had someone. They flew up from Jamaica,
Mhm.
thinking that my father was going to die, and she stood by the corner, way down by the corner, and a friend of hers came and rang the bell.
Mhm.
My mother answered the door, and my mother didn't know his two daughters, different, they were
Right,
just, and
right.
he was in communication with them like, oh, I'm calling you every week. He wasn't some deadbeat dad, because they were already up there in age. So they had the communications, and the time that he would go down to Jamaica, he would touch bases with them. But
Right.
they never really knew my mother. They never seemed like they wanted to even know my mother, because she's a Johnny come lately in this thing. But it
Mhm.
wasn't where they grew up. where he was the head of the house and his wife or his woman was. It was never that way. It's just circumstantial. You know, being young, and you sprayed off. It's something that you loved or liked. All right.
Right.
But he was cool with it. Everybody was cool with it. But it seemed like he's in America and he's got a son and a wife and a business. We were middle-class people. We weren't rich. I think they weren't doing as well and thought that there was some huge amount of money or something like that. So my sister, who I glimpsed and almost cussed out, right? I'll tell you the story. She was standing by the corner and sent her friend to ring the bell and wanted to speak to my father. My mother asked who it was. You know, she's not just going to let anybody just come into the house. And she wasn't she wasn't the kind of wife that would block. Oh, that's no. You're not talking to them. You know, behind his back. She's always loving, welcoming. I'm quite sure you know her spirit. I speak about her, but she was not dumb either.
Right.
If I may ask, who are you? What's your name or whatever. Oh, and it caught her by surprise. So she's, I'm so and so, and it's like, well, you know, my mother knew everybody that he knew, and it's like, well, who is this? And so she's like, well, she had to tell it. His daughter's down the block, and wants to talk to him. So it was like, well, if you know how to ring the bell, why is she down the block? Because they had something up their sleeve. See? So now I caught wind of what was going on. I said, Ma, so what's going on? I was there. I said, what's going on? And so the woman looked at me like, oh, that's his son. You know, I'm young and strong and whatnot, you know. So when she said, well, tell her to come up and, you know, we'll talk. And maybe she can talk to him. This just doesn't look to be something done in a proper way. What is it to hide? Why is she down by the corner? She picked up on it. So she walked away. I said to her, she ain't coming back. Not after you are here and they want to see what's going on, because they probably think he's got a lot of money. You know? And they want to come up and get a hold of something, which if you need something and that's your father, ask him. None of us had a problem with that.
Right.
So I'm like, I said, I'm going out there. She said, oh, don't start nothing with them, whatever. So I said, nah, there's some sneaky stuff. See, that's what I don't like. I don't like sneaky stuff. I don't like people who move in a sneaky way when they have full right to operate under the guise of family, right?
Exactly.
So I hopped in the car. The woman didn't know that I went out there. So I hopped in the car and I drove the opposite way. I drove up and around the other block to come up, and I parked at the corner before she can get there. I didn't see any cars that were different or strange. I saw only cars from that point down to where she was walking of people who lived in that block, in my old block. So that's why I went the other way. So I pulled up and I just stayed in the cut, tinted windows and all, right? So I'm sitting there, and so I see my sister, right? And so the lady walks over to her and they say something and they walk away. It's not like, okay, it's okay. And sometimes I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she thought that, well, I don't know what I'll run into if I go there. Maybe the wife might be some nasty person or something like that. But come on, you come right. How bad can it be? Exactly. So they stood there for a while and talked. So I went right past them, made a U-turn, parked the car, and walked up to her. And so I said, and the woman saw, oh, this is the same guy. How did he get down here? She was looking shocked. And because of the way I was built at the time, I don't know if they thought I was going to do something to them or whatever, but I wasn't trying to look menacing, but I was a little pissed. So I guess I did. So I said, hi, sis, how are you? Hi, how are you? I said, you know who I am, right? She says, yes. She never saw me or anything like that. Maybe pictures or something like that. We didn't have the internet back then. So I said, why would you wait down by the corner and have this young lady walk up? I said, that didn't look right. That looks very sneaky. Oh, well, I didn't know. And when I saw her spirit, I said, yeah, it is sneaky. I said, I'm glad you didn't come up there. I don't know what you want, but you could have asked for it. You came all the way up here. Maybe you happened to be in New York City and you decided to swing by. But these people who operate on a sneaky level, I didn't want to know her.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice meeting you. I said, well, I wish I met you on different terms.
Right.
You know, I wish so long. Hopped in my car and left. Because I picked up on it right away.
Yeah.
I saw that it wasn't a thing. Well, I'm just like a little standoffish. I don't know. No, it wasn't that. You were being sneaky. And sneaky is worse because if you scheming on something, you're looking to take me off. Not that, oh, you can go get something from daddy and I ain't gonna get it. No, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about if you that way, You're gonna move that way again in different circumstances. That's your credo. That's how you operate. I don't like sneaky people going behind your back and doing. Be straight up. I have couth. I'm always going to be a person who's like, okay, I can be reserved and hold my tongue, but sometimes you have to deal directly and factually. And no matter what, when they feel chastised, they feel like you screamed at them. I could imagine how she told that story back. They didn't even know I got up, but I know they're going to say when they he screeched, the car on the tire screeched, and he jumped out, and he's so muscular, and he looked like he was going to punch us. No. So this is why sometimes you have to bring it down a step when you deal, but you have to speak your truth. These were people. This was not my sister. This was
that's right.
Who was my sister by DNA, but this is not a sister in spirit. And you can have real family when you have people around you in the same spirit, and you can still have things that happen, disagreements with them, but the both you have such a righteous mindset. It's like, listen, we can't let this go on. I'm sorry for what I did. You misunderstood me, but I'm sorry. And I see how you saw it. Let's patch things up. It's better.
Exactly.
Even if you don't see each other every week, or even if you're not in each other's business, you vibe with them. Let's say you had 10 brothers and sisters, right? You're not going to vibe with them the same way. Well, I get along with Errol and Jacqueline, I don't get along. I'm just making up names. I don't get along with
Can I tell you, you just used the name of my best friend and her brother.
Oh, no. Are you serious?
Hand to God. Yes, indeed.
I'm picking up things. I'm not saying it has anything to do with the show. I'm just saying that.
That's weird.
That's very weird.
You said Errol, and I'm like, okay, he's going down the Jamaican route. And then you...
Then that's the Jacqueline, right?
And I mean, you really went down the Jamaican route.
Wow. Yeah, especially if I said Delroy or Barrington.
Oh my gosh! Then you just given up your American self.
Yeah.
All you need now is the accent, brother Lance. Come on, whip it out.
Well, I got it.
I know.
The way I can say the Jamaican accent the strongest is when it pisses me off, right?
Yes.
But let me tell you something. Even still, it's stronger when a white person pisses me off.
I can only imagine.
And I pour it on even more, and it's more authentic. But just to say, whip it out and do it.
No, then it sounds made up. Yeah.
If I want to do it, like I'm around a crowd, I want to shock them with something or whatever, it can come out. And people say, like, because we all have different inflections in our voice, and sometimes you can hear something. Like people, they know I'm born in America, but some of them are like, wait a second, there's something else going on there. There's not one word that's so strong, but just the rhythm of what you say. Like if I come around, like when I used to hang around my friends, a lot of them who were Jamaican back in the late 80s, early 90s, you'd hear it because I'm talking to them, they're talking to me. I'm not trying, but I'm used to this from birth because of my father. So there was somebody who mentioned that in one of the comments or one of the chats about a Jamaican accent on me, Grace Mason, she wanted to know if I understood it or something like that. And I said, I understand.
I saw that.
Yeah. The thickest accent.
You want to hear something really weird now? She's calling me.
Oh my, what? Yo. You gotta check up and see what that.
I'm gonna put you on hold for a quick second. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on hold and see what's going on.
I mentioned the name. I mentioned the other name.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. I'm gonna put you on hold.
Okay, I'll keep talking. Yeah. So, like I'm saying, I look for photos, searching them, right? And I saw this photo that you're looking at now, and I'm like, I don't know these people, but that's the perfect picture. That's the perfect picture for this topic. Y'all who are Black folks, y'all know, like, we got some stuff going on in this family. And again, it's not like we're exempt from it in our own personal lives, because lots of times the world doesn't know the drama that we have to go through in our families. And as much as I've always loved being around bigger families, because everybody knows, like I said, I have a brother 11 years older than me, always addicted to drugs, so he was never really around. But I cherish the time that he was around and wasn't on that stuff. But most of my friends growing up, they had big families. And I used to sit there and just enjoy how they got along with each other. But then as I would get closer to that particular friend that afforded me that proximity, I found out the things that were going on, and I began to think to myself, wow, I'm really blessed to go home and be raised as an only child, which I wasn't, but there was an age gap and an activity difference of what my parents approved of from my older brother who was on drugs. So I was raised as an only child. I always had peace and tranquility, and it was a very good childhood. And I had lots of time to myself to cultivate the artwork, the writing. I love my schoolwork. I love lifting weights. And then when I went out in the street, not the streets, but in the street on the block, hanging out with very good, clean friends, I enjoyed that. So I had an extreme, one extreme to the next, but I learned a lot. But it wasn't so much in-house. The most dysfunction was dealing with my family, dealing with my brother. But the day-to-day stuff, that didn't exist for me. But being elsewhere with bigger families, I can absorb.
Okay.
And even dating different young ladies, I can absorb the dysfunctions. And like I said, that particular family where I dated a young lady in my late teens for about, it was more than just dating. Of course, you know what that is. You know, dating is a four-letter word also, like they use today. Talking to him, TALC, results in you getting pregnant. You know what I mean? So, you know,
I
being
know
around
him. I know him.
I know him.
I
Okay,
know him.
you know a lot of people. Did you go to bed with them? Huh? You know, were you burping the next generation? Come on, you know.
Not at all.
Exactly. I think you really was what I just said. But anyway,
I heard you.
It's the thing. That particular family was like the most. Like the most. I've known several, and who am I to? I'm not judging. I have assessed it by being up close and personal. And I kind of hate to bring them up because I try to get specific to a point and not specific. But that family, I could do a whole 2 months every day, 7 days a week of shows, and you'll be right here listening because it's too juicy.
Wow.
And I'm not saying it's juicy like I'm gonna throw them under the under the bus and tell their business, because there's certain things, and a lot of them have passed away. But we need to face these things and have these types of discussions, not just to laugh at somebody, because that's not the purpose of this show. But it's to really look and see where people have gone with their lives, with their family members, the DNA sharers, and how not to go up those roads. Like, let's discuss this and let's see what went wrong. Like when you're in a college, class, and you're dissecting something in that area of expertise that you chose to be in. So say, listen, this is an example of what not to do. Protocol. This is what you don't do. Like when I was in Corrections Academy, we won't go into the range every day. There's certain things you did not do with that weapon. If you're not using it, or in a situation where your life was threatened, you keep it holstered. Yeah, some people like, you know how you wave your hand around. Yeah, man, so and so with a gun in your hand loaded. People forget. Not that they want to do anything, but they forget. If you're not using it, it goes back immediately. There's no threat, it goes back. Right?
Exactly.
So there's certain things that we need to know that we just take it for granted because, like I say, family is the most prostituted word in the English language. One of them. I mean, like love is another one. I love it. But really and truly, like the one that stings the most, because you see, you can say you love somebody and not mean it. You can say you love somebody and actually mean it.
True.
The currency of love does not mean that it's always the same.
True.
Two people can say, you can ask the two people, do you love each other? And they say, yes, I love them. And the other person, yes, I love them. But the word love is like currency. Like, you could have like Japanese yen, and I could have American dollars.
Right.
Like I use the example once ago on the show to say, like, listen, Ella, get ready. You're gonna do some shopping today. This is gonna change your life. Quit your job now. I can't do that. No, trust me. Now. You might not do it, but you want to see what's gonna go. Like, listen, I got 10 18-wheelers filled up with cash in high denominations, in boxes. If you take that one box, you'll be able to buy whatever house you want. You'll be able to live for the rest of your life. And I got 10 18-wheelers packed with this money. Oh my God, I can't go wrong. And I'm telling you. And then all of a sudden the 10 18-wheelers roll up. and you all dressed up because you know,
Right.
didn't even you didn't even eat breakfast like that. I'm gonna go somewhere. I want to
It's
go to
about to happen.
It's about to go down. It's about to go down. And the 18-wheelers, and they are you Empress Ella G? Here's a delivery. We see you don't have the space. So maybe this afternoon you can go and purchase the mansion you want. We're amping it up. And you go and you see these boxes, and they open up one of the boxes. You think it's a trick. Well, let me open up the box I want. You come slashing all the boxes, and it's all of this money. And you cannot believe it. You don't want the trucks to drive away. You want to get all of this money, and it is money, and it is a lot of money, but you realize it's Japanese yen. Where can you go shopping with that? You could eventually change your money, but it's not what you thought. And going back to the point, when one person says, I love you, and the next person says, I love you, especially when it's after intercourse or some type of oral copulation, you feel good. I remember being a young boy, and when a woman did that to me, oh my God, I love you. I was so quick to say that because it felt so good. Did you really? No, you were in love with that feeling. It felt good. And we have reasons for loving each other. But since the family thing is not where it's two intimate partners, it's intimacy on a different level, or at least it should be.
Right.
So when we say that we love this particular cousin or older brother who just hit the lottery, but you didn't go get along with them for the prior 10 years, well, I really do love them. Yeah,
no.
Because you're thinking about what you're going to get or what you can get. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
Or what they down the line. And that goes along with friendships and proximity, just all types of relationships. They value you according to what you can do for them or what they have, what you will have. Don't you know that she's the only child and their family's worth 18 million and she don't do much and she's clingy? You better be her friend now. We got parents that's sick their sons or their daughters on a particular person that they can see as a trajectory into monetary wealth.
That's true.
You see what I mean?
That's true.
So they don't mind when, say, for
be
example,
their best friend, be their,
not even just that, but they don't mind when they'll break the rules. It might be a young lady who is protected and sheltered, but here comes this guy, like I said, the family has about 18 million and all these other liquid assets and different things, and he's the only child. Well, why is it that you let this young man stay over late and eventually overnight in your head? Because you're hoping that sperm hits egg. Young man, but you hope and beyond hope. And we just, he's different, he's so polite. Parents lie, family members lie. Because there's a motive behind it, and we don't think that because we romanticize the positions that they have. It's easy to dog that one that's struggling and doesn't have much and is outspoken. I don't like him, so and so. He's not gonna be part. And you turn your back to him. You give him the family news that might be necessary to share the last one on the list. Like if somebody has a terminal illness, you tell everybody one night and then you don't tell him till another 2 weeks that he hears about it. You leave him out.
Right.
He's not one of us. He's not that part of the family, the smart part of the family, or the ones where maybe they're all brothers and sisters, but 2 or 3 of them might have a different father. So they gravitate each other, and they're under the umbrella of family, but they're different. So we're not them. There's all kind of ways that we can take a paper and a pen and write down the ways that we can be different, or in our mind we are different. Man, let me tell you something. You can write up the whole library worth of reasons.
That's true. And sometimes toxicity can come in a scenario like what you just that last little sentence that you just made about the makeup of the family. Who's where and what's what. Toxicity can come from, say, for instance, you have an outside child, or sibling or whatever. You love that sibling just as if y'all were the same, 100% the same.
Yes.
But they have in their head a different feeling. They love you, they care about you, but they can't ever love you as if you were all from the same cloth. Let's just put it that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's not because they will always have that little bit of resentment, and every so often it'll rear its ugly head. You know,
Simply because, yeah, you have a different parent, or
yes,
yeah,
yes.
understood.
You know what I mean? And it's amazing the way things come out, you know, or the way they present themselves. And a lot of times you don't know. You don't know. All right, let me just sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know because that is not the feeling that I have,
Right.
you know?
And again, like I say, we can judge the world by the state of our own mind. We think that if it's peace and love and togetherness, and I'll do anything for you because you're my family, but don't always think it's both ways.
True.
Don't ever think that it's always both ways. It's beautiful when it is. It's beautiful when we get together and we have that feeling. And there are families who are like that, that are very supportive of each other. And that's a blessing. Yes, it is. And they do exist. So I'm not going to paint the picture, especially with Black families, that they're all against each other. I've seen families in places that some would call the hood, the extreme hood. But there's so much love and connectedness. It's like I've spent lots of times around families like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it'd even be where I'm a strong friend of one of them, but you know, I might have helped them move in or move somewhere. And come on over when you want. You see them outside and you're walking down the street. Hey, Lance, what's going on? You want some of this macaroni and cheese? Like, yeah, sure, no problem. You know, I might have a problem. They have this roach infested, so I'm making sure that, you know, nothing's getting in my food. But I'll sit there and eat with them, or just say I just ate, you know, if I don't feel too good to want to eat there. But I do love them, and I spend time with them. And you see how the love that they have for each other, even though they all may not be making a lot of money, but they're together, and you see them 2 or 3 years from now, and they're in a house that they own. I mean, there's a mortgage on it, but you're like, wow. And you see how they've elevated and looked out for each other. And there's no better feeling when you go around a family like that, where they all truly love each other on the same frequency.
Yes.
Because we around this word, and we're supposed to accept it as though it's full potency, but the word you're giving me is weak and watered down and in a whole different category than what I'm saying. So again, we judge the world by the state of our own mind. We assume that
we
love,
assume.
yeah. Love with motivation, love with
That a lot of
conditions.
times we're disappointed. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, the thing is not to expect much. Just because you're DNA sharers, you share DNA, you've come out of the same mother or come from the same father, it doesn't mean you have the same spirit. And we can spend a lifetime going through shock and having wounds.
Yeah.
See, because of what they did. Like for people who are around me in different situations, right? It really can't touch me. Like it's like a fighter that got hit and he got knocked down, but he bounced back up in 1 second. And it was a hard blow that he took. Why? Because I was raised in a way as an only child. So emotionally, I'm complete. It's only when I extend myself and expect the currency of love to be with his friend or mate or person, whatever, to be the same. But I can quickly pull back and say, okay, this is not what it is.
Right.
And I have no problem with that because I'm used to moving in a way where, well, your office phone is really jumping now. But go ahead and answer it. I'll keep talking.
I'm gonna answer, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's the thing, the ability to be complete within yourself and to have that ability to bounce back and not depend on what others give you in the name of family or the name of love, a love that may not be the same type of currency or the same motivation. Your love for me may not be my love for you.
Exactly.
We have couples out here. Let's go, just get away from the family for a second. You'll have a woman who says, oh, I love you so much. Yeah, because his bank account is full. And then yes, baby, I love you, because she's waxing him off better than any other woman that he's messing with. So then we have two different things going on.
Yeah, that's true.
So when she decides to say, you know, I want to get serious in this thing, and I think we should kind of pull back from the sexual stuff. I want to be married. And he ain't going to tell her that's the reason why I'm around you, because of what you give to me for free. But then again, if he gets broke and makes the wrong decision with his finances, she's like, well, I think we should spend time apart or whatever. And she's hanging around other dudes that got money.
Right.
My thing is, state your motivations, but we can't even do that in family because we're all damn pretending in these dysfunctional, toxic family, with these dysfunctional, toxic family members. We're all doing the square dance, you know, swing your partner round and round, cuss them out and throw them to the ground, don't see go, you know what I mean? So
I know.
we're so easy. And then we have, okay, you have family members who talk to each other. You have them two sisters that are real close. They tell everything, but it's not venomously done. It's out of
Exactly.
concern. And you do have ones, right? But you do have the ones that are out of concern. You don't know what it is when you hear it. Like, man, they talking some serious stuff. It's like, yeah, Ralph is we've been gay for years, but he never came out and told mommy, never came out and told daddy. I think our brother Leroy, he suspects it, but we know. And I saw him a couple times downtown, and he's real sloppy with his stuff, and a lot of people know. But I think mommy caught wind of it, and she was very angry with him and just blew up when the gay character on the TV show came, and she said, I can't stand so-and-so and so-and-so. And that was a message to so-and-so, and he was so hurt. See what I'm saying? Like I'm so full of hearing these things, right? I can just pull it out of my head. And I've seen it and experienced it and realized that they were showing concern and realized and that was a real situation.
Mm-hmm.
I was close to the family where I can talk to one of them. Like, well, maybe you need to talk to him and let him kind of let her know, your mother know that's his business. But I can see if he doesn't say anything, it's going to be a lot of friction. There's more things to worry about. You do what you do in your bedroom, right? And whatever, but people, and that was just one example. Then we have the family members who just didn't want to do anything together. Like, they can be their own empire because they have all the ingredients to maybe create a business. 2 or 3 of the sisters are really great cooks. One of the brothers is a great businessman, and another one is into real estate and can find good deals to get that restaurant space. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the young kids who can learn and help sweep up and do the menial things. And one family member says, hey, let's do this. Instead of us working these little jobs, let's get together and make this happen. And then they can't do it. But maybe some of that family member, they can do that with somebody else who has their act together. But because of decades-long idiosyncrasies, we just can't work together. There
and
should
that's
be
okay.
No, right. No, and that is okay. But really, if you have some sense, realize that if you don't heal yourself from whatever perceptions you have or whatever real things you have as a family, at the end of the day, you got to realize is that all you have is each other. Even when you don't have each other from the years of erosion, what could have been is so much better if you swallowed your pride.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean every family member has the same involvement into the creation of the dysfunction.
Right.
But the ones who have the most responsibility in that, they got to swallow their pride the most. Some of them just onlookers at you ever meet anybody and it's like, yeah, like that one member, say it's a young lady, she's the Marilyn Munster of the Munsters. Meaning that Marilyn Munster was according to European standards, she was a beautiful, normal, extremely beautiful on their standards. And Herman Munster, grandpa, the wife, they're all like monsters and Halloween characters. But Marilyn Munster was the one that would go out and just, she was normal, but she was the oddball according to the family, right? So lots of times you'll meet somebody and you get close to them, say as a man, right? They start warning you about the family before you get close to her even more. That's what I'm saying. You're right, 3 week 20. Yeah, that's right. And something's coming because you're dating or maybe you're kind of hanging out. You're not dating officially, but you like this person. And it's like they start telling you, well, I want you to come by and meet my family, but I'm gonna have to tell you a few things before you come on over. My mother can't stand the fact that my father's an alcoholic now. She takes care of him, but he was womanizing and blowing a lot of money, and that's why we're in this position. And she's heavy into the church, so you're gonna have to deal with her asking you if you're a Christian or not. Just go along and say you were raised in a Christian household and make up a church that you go to every Sunday. Then she'll leave you alone. But my other brother, we know he's smoking, so he's going to kind of befriend you and hit you for $5 that you'll never get back. You know what I mean? So they'll start telling you things. You're like, okay. So you realize that you start checking her out. Like, I'm not saying it this way. Like, let me see, was there anything wrong with her? Right? But you realize there's nothing. Like her circumstances didn't mold her into something other than what you would see as a really great catch.
Right.
Not comparing a woman to fish, even though some of them don't wash themselves,
Stop it. Behave yourself.
I love you, my sisters. I'm crazy across the board. Let's hope about the. Okay, I'll throw a musty balls joke in there to make it even, right? No, but the thing is that seriously, there's no scale.
That's
There's no
true.
limit. Like there's no scale. What about the young lady who rode my bus? And I'm gonna reach out to her. She's open about these things. And last time we chatted, she says, "Yeah, I heard you mention my story on the show. I have no problem. I want to come on and tell you more." I'm like, whoa. And it's not,
Wow.
but it's healing because there are many people out here who go through similar situations and they feel trapped like, am I not normal? I had to go through this. Does anybody else go through this? And sometimes, not that you want to see anybody else go through pain,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels good like I'm not the only one and this
Right.
person understands me. Because sometimes relationships are formed, friendships and relationships are formed from the similar pains that you had to go through. So it's almost like
Yes.
retroactively you went to college together or you were in the trenches of war together, which
Yes.
bonds you together. You see what I mean? But there's so many dynamics with families and friendships and relationships that we sometimes just go on over the surface and say, oh, this looks like a good prospect. You better peel back the layers and go deep. Because them layers are going to get peeled back and you're going to face things that they went through as far as pain, that you've went through as far as your acceptance of what they've gone through or how they don't understand what you went through, the different currencies being different, Japanese yen, Mexican pesos, and American dollars.
Yes.
You better get stuff lined up before you make a commitment because even when you marry on to a person, you marry a family, even if the family live in another country, you got to how that family deals with that family member. And they may not like her anymore because you're an upgrade and they could never find nobody if it's different sisters or brothers. And who do you think you are? You're living this. Why would you go and move to a different country? Why would you go now and move to a different part of town? Who you think you are? Or they think the person that you got is something further or higher that you can ever have, and they hate him because they see the goodness in you that they've been trying to stop the world from seeing for the longest time. We can sit here and talk, we can talk to the boss on the show.
Yeah, man. Listen, and the negative energy that they put out there.
Let me run. Got to take a leak, and I got to check something on the stove. I'm gonna listen to you. I get the headphones up.
No, I was just thinking about what Brother Lance was just saying. You know, a lot of times, I'm a firm believer in the effects on people's lives that negative energy and negative intentions can have, you know, because sometimes when people have certain feelings against you or about you and the energy that they put forth in those feelings, good or bad, and more times than not, it's bad. When you see your life taking turns and twists and you can't figure out why the hell it's happening that way, because you know, as far as what you're doing all the things that are right, you're doing all the right things, you're trying to move in all the right direction, but things keep happening. You know, now eventually you're going to have to do things to protect yourself and to sort of combat, you know, whatever it is that people are coming at you with. But when you don't know, you don't recognize that it's the energy that people are putting out there towards you. It's the things that they're speaking out into the universe, you know, and even parents unknowingly, unwittingly can say things that can have damaging effects on their children, on people that they know in their family sphere, in their, you know, in their family circle, you know, whether it's their sister, their cousin, their whatever, just the things that they say and the passion that they say it with, and like I said, the energy that comes behind it, it can have damaging effects. But who knows that this is what's happening? You know, all they see are the end results, and they don't recognize that you know, you're a culprit in that end result. But they see the end result and they form an opinion about where things are, how things are, based upon what they're seeing happen. I've seen it happen too many times, you know, and that's why, you know, like I said before, I don't have a problem where people don't know where I am or what I'm doing. I really don't. You know, let them wonder how things are. Let them wonder what I'm doing. Because I find when they do know, things never go the way it's supposed to. And, you know, like I said before, I'm guilty of thinking that because it's family, you know, their family, you have to behave a certain way. You know, you want to have that ideal family looking structure. You want to live that ideal family looking life, you know, but it's not always good because people don't always have good intentions for you. And I remember, you know, with my husband and his brother, I was always just the two of you. It's just the two of you. You gotta, you know, you can't, you know, do this. You gotta put this aside. You know, da 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 da. No, no, you can't do that. You cannot
Mhm.
do that because you unwittingly are putting them in a very precarious situation because they're trying, you know, he's trying to say, okay, let bygones be bygones, or let's try to go back to how we were as children and whatever. And you know, you're grown ass people. You're living whatever life you want to live. You're joining whatever secret handshake society you want to join up on, you know, and you know,
That's my
you're
favorite
just
term.
I know that's why I said it because I know you'd understand, you know. But yeah, once that happens, you know, you all have nothing in common anymore. If that's not your that's not something that you want to be involved with. Once people take on that particular go down that road and say, okay, this is what I want to be involved with. You just got to step aside. You got to step aside. Yeah. Exactly, sweet D. That's what I said before. You can love from afar, you know, love from afar, you know, always have good thoughts in your mind about people, but
Mhm.
they don't have to be right there upon you. And
Right.
always remember the energy that you put into thinking about someone, good or bad, it can have positive or it can have negative effects on them.
You're right. That's
Yeah,
right. And we don't know how they're going to take it. You know,
exactly.
we don't know. And we'll never know when you're dealing with a whole family. The bigger, it's like minefields. You don't know. You step the wrong way. Their perception or what they heard about within the family. This is a whole community. This is when I say community, I don't mean like a community, like a whole subdivision, but it's your
Yes.
own intranet, not internet, but intranet, your own, you know, and this has the most effect on you than anything else. I just want to say to our family, I'm going to cut this and move us on over to LanceScurv.com so we can say even more things. I'm going to drop the link.
Yes.
If for some reason you can't go over there, um, okay, wait, I put the WP admin. Take the WP admin out of it. You can't log into my like the back end. Yeah. Because I kind of copied that and saved this. Let me just do this again. Some would try, like I'm gonna get in there and rip up his you don't know the password, so you know, like,
Right.
so here
Congrats,
his
Rena.
huh?
Rena. She said thank you.
Oh, of course. Of course. Thank you. Thank you. And just go to LanceScurv. It's broadcasting there right now. You don't have to go to any other page. Just go to LanceScurv.com. That other WP admin will take you somewhere else. But go to LanceScurv.com. And that's where we're going to continue the show. And we can maybe say some more things that YouTube would say, okay, you can't say that. So we're going to shut your video down and give you another strike. And
Exactly.
so careful of that.
Exactly.
And it's also, and we're not going to do every show this way, but I want to get our family here used to going to the website because we have
Yes.
it set up there right now. And the same exact show, the same exact banner, it's all broadcasting together. We also have it on Facebook and 3 YouTube channels and Twitter. I'm going to knock it off on those also and just have it on LanceScurv.com. So if this was a little taste that you enjoyed, we're going to go on longer, maybe another
Come
hour.
on
So
over.
yeah, so we for the Facebook people, here we go. I'm knocking it down now. And like I said, for the times that YouTube has shut me down and we didn't have anywhere else to direct people, I'm getting you used to it now. It won't always be like this, but the morning shows usually, yes, when it's a hot topic. So if
Yeah.
you can't go back to there and listen to the rest, you won't miss a beat. but go to LanceScurv.com. That's all you have to do. And the show is there. All right. So
Yes,
Facebook,
indeed.
here we go.
Come on over, folks. Come on over. Come. Let's keep the energy going.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're going to get into some specifics now.
Yes.
I'm removing the LanceScurv channel. Okay, next is LanceScurv. Here we go. Listen up, everybody. Come to LanceScurv.com.
Oh, they're almost there over there. Hey.
And that's what we want. And we've gotten used to that even more so. And that's a good thing. And here it is.
Amir is over there. Romy's over there.